you never want to post. You never want to be in a position where you're being asked to post an evacuation notice, but it is what it is, and I applaud the ODPM and the government themselves for being so steadfast and decisive, because that is what is needed in these times. We've been encouraging people to move out, move up to higher ground. Most persons are taking the option to stay with friends and family in higher ground as opposed to going to the shelters, because we know that the shelters are limited, and that is a fact. We're doing our best, but so many of our schools are built from breeze blocks, and can't really accommodate a lot of people in a safe environment, in a dry environment. So again, we are looking down the barrel of something that Treasure Beach has never ever seen before. And, I just want to ask persons out there to pray for us, um, across the parish, across the country, across the Caribbean, because this could be a life-changing and very defining moment for Treasure Beach in the next 36 to 48 hours. And, we just want persons to be on standby. Just before I joined this interview, I was called by Michael Capone, who is the head of Global Empowerment Mission. They are already in country and ready to start with supplies. I have to applaud that NGO because they were the first on the ground after Beryl. So big salute to the Gem family, the Aka Morrison, and all of them. And I have to say, the government really are being decisive. They're doing what we want to see. They're sending out the notices, and it's all about just praying this thing away right now and being realistic. We're already seeing storm surge. Some people are not aware, but the entire sea lifts up, and then you have the high waves on top of that. So you're starting to see some beach erosion. Most of the boats are on higher ground, but to be honest with you, some of the canoes never got up as high as I would like. So we could see the loss of some canoes, some fishermen boats. The farmers, of course, are the ones that I'm always extremely concerned about. The young children, the old, the elderly, the indigent, the shut-ins. Those are the people on my mind right now. So it's all about stretching your hand, loving your neighbor, doing what you can for your brothers and sisters, because we're going to need all hands on deck across the entire country. We were praying for the capital not to get hit. God forbid if that storm would have gone over Portmore and Kingston and Spanish Town Road, and that would have knocked out so much of our infrastructure, so much of our residents. So we prayed for Kingston. So now we need Kingston to pray for us. So we're really in the hands of the Lord right now, and we're asking for some divine intervention and a good Jamaican spirit.
All right. So we'll keep monitoring what's happening with Hurricane Melissa here in St. Elizabeth. I'm Omar Wilson. It's back to you in studio.
Oh, thank you so much, Omar. And Jason, we send our prayers, we send our love to everybody in the Breadbasket Parish of St. Elizabeth. We are praying for you guys. We are sending our support. We're sending good vibes, and we're praying for coverage during this passage. Jason Hensel is such a great guy.
Yeah, a very strong community
Jason.
man.
Yeah, man. Remember now, Jason could have packed up and leave and go about in business. Yeah, but he's always on the ground, always staying.
Key in the Treasure Beach area. Yeah, definitely.
I must say.
And we're staying a little while longer in St. Elizabeth. We know that St. Elizabeth was probably the hardest hit last year.
Yes,
and they've just recovered, got back into their stride.
Recovering.
They're in the process, because you don't just get over it, and a lot of people would have expended a great deal of resources to assist in the recovery effort. We're now joined by the telephone. We have the marketing and promotions manager for the Lovers Leap Experience, Jason Ricketts, to share how they're preparing this time around and what the storm could mean for local tourism and business operation. Jason, good morning.
Hi, Jason.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
How are you? How are things looking down at Lovers Leap from your angle?
It's not looking good, but the thing is that we would have learned our lesson from Beryl. As you know, Beryl devastated Lovers Leap. We lost our roof, and we were out for 100 days. And given our resilient nature, we built back a lounge. We called it the Berry Lounge, named after the hurricane. And now we're actually preparing for Melissa. It's very hard, but we're on top of things. And as I said, we have learned our lesson, and we have taken all steps and preparations in preparation for Melissa.
When you say things are not looking good, Jason, what does that mean? Is it you're having wind right now, you're having rain, storm surges? What are you seeing? What are you experiencing at the moment?
Yeah, we're experiencing very strong winds. I am not on the property of Lover's Leap right now because based on the trajectory of the storm, is that we're in direct path of getting hit, which is very unfortunate. So I'm at home. I've taken my preparations at home as well and battened down. But based on what we're seeing is that the storm is south of us and it is going to pass right over Lover's Leap, unfortunately, again. The bad thing is that Beryl was at Category 3 and it just and the eye didn't pass directly over St. Elizabeth. So, and we had that extensive damage. So the bad thing is that we're now at Category 5, winds exceeding 100 miles per hour. And so we don't know what to prepare for. You know, Jamaica has never experienced a Category 5 storm passing directly over the island before. So we have been preparing because we have learned our lessons, but we don't know what to expect. So the general feeling is we have anxiety and fear among the residents of St. Elizabeth, and it's very unfortunate. But we're praying, and we're hoping for the best. We're prepared as can be.
You know, when people hear that you were down for 100 days, people might not understand the magnitude of the impact that has. I mean, talk about your staff, talk about the people who you work with, the people who come from various communities in and around Lover's Leap, but across the parish of St. Elizabeth. It is so critical as a tourist destination. I've been to Lover's Leap a few times, and I know that it's just a wonderful, it's quite rightly dubbed an experience. I mean, when people lose that, how big an impact, how big a blow is that?
Well, the Lover's Leap is a gem to the community. I've always said this. And it's not in the urban space. It is just a place, a nice cliff locked away within the community of Yardley Chase. And what we do is we employ people from the community. All our chefs and our waitresses and our groundsmen, they are from the community. So what we've done is sent them home from Thursday to do their preparations, and then we, the management staff and maintenance, have gone over to the property and done all that we can to the Berry Lounge, right? But I think if this Category 5 storm give us some extensive damage, it will be a huge blow to community tourism. It will be a huge blow to St. Elizabeth, because a lot of people travel from other parishes and they come over, they have a good time, they enjoy great food, the ambience, and of course, 1,700 feet above sea level, we have the most, the very best view in the Caribbean. And so when we lose something like that for a few days or a few months, it's very hard on the community. You know, they don't have a source of income, and it's very hard in the parish overall. Of course, we support our local farmers by buying their produce, their organic produce. You know, Jamaica, breadbasket parish is St. Elizabeth, so they will be affected. They themselves don't know what to expect. As I said before, Jamaica in itself don't know what to expect because we've never have a Cat 5 hurricane pass directly over the island. And now that I'm seeing based on the trajectory, right on the eye of the storm is supposedly going to pass over Lover's Leap. That is a very bad thing for the community itself and for Jamaica. I hope we don't lose it. We're praying for the best. And I know we're going to come together and overcome it. So the anxiety will be over soon, but we're bracing for impact.
Well, we're sending you guys love, Jason. Lots of love and, prayers as well. And we hope that the best will happen. The best of a bad situation will happen. And, of course, that you guys will come out on top and, not totally unscathed, but at the very least, not, as devastating as we know it can be.
Yes.
So just please be safe.
Right.
And, of course, we are here for you guys, all right? Sending you lots of love during this time.
All right.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
Thank you very
it.
much.
Thanks.
Our guest in this conversation has been Jason Ricketts, the Marketing and Promotions Manager at the Lovers Leap Experience out there in St. Elizabeth, sharing how communities on the South Coast are preparing for the weather ahead. And remember, folks, if it is safe, you can share your storm update video. We're not sending you out there in a difficult...
No, Dennis, I threw them window. I never send nobody going away.
No, exactly. Just push out the
through your window, through your grill.
Yes.
Not
just
go outside.
Show us your point of view.
Yeah,
no
just
matter
through
go
the grill.
And you say...
No.
Miss Kitty and Dennis said no.
Don't tell her answer for me.
So send it to us via WhatsApp. Send it to us via WhatsApp at 876-833-0897. That's 876-833-0897. All right?
Yeah, just through your windows, through your grills. Don't go outside, please. And if you can't, just share your breakfast with us. Show us what you're eating. You know what I mean? It's all about safety. And on that note, before we break, I saw a video with some persons in the ocean.
In St. Elizabeth.
In St. Elizabeth at another part, around by Alligator Pond, it is being said.
A place that is known to be very rough in the water.
Right.
And people out there.
On a regular day.
Yeah,
right?
on a regular day.
Let alone now. I am asking persons,
don't do anything stupid.
Let good sense prevail. Let sense and sensibility prevail.
Please.
The persons who live in the flood-prone areas or the landslide-prone areas, please, if your MPs, if your councillors, if your MPs are asking you to evacuate, please take heed from now, because it is unreasonable and unconscionable for you to disregard these warnings. And when problem take you, you're going to expect
somebody to
come and extricate you from it. Please let us use sense and sensibility. Please let us listen. Please let us have an obedient spirit and do what is right. As was mentioned before, things can get back. And I know people, things are valuable. You work hard. I understand. But the greatest thing is life. And when you have that, all things can be restored. Okay?
Indeed. All right.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We're going to go till 9. So please send the videos. Thank you.
Total Connect. Hawkeye, securing what matters most.
Time by Hawkeye is 8 a.m.
Negril! The Government Services Mobile Fair is rolling into your community on Friday, October 31. Come to the Negril Beach Park, Norman Manley Boulevard for passport renewal, legal aid assistance, apply for birth certificates, road licenses, path benefits, new business registration, property tax, and NWC services. Get information on the National Housing Trust, plus free health checks and much more. Come out and celebrate the Government of Jamaica Service Excellence Month as we bring government services to your doorstep.
Have you seen any of these signs and are ready to buy land or property? Want to know who is the legal owner? Purchase a copy of the title using eLand Jamaica. With eLand Jamaica, you can do a title search and verify the owner of the property, ensuring they have the legal right to sell it. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at www.nla.gov.jm, via telephone at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or message us on WhatsApp at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, to serve you better.
There are certain moments in life you'll cherish forever, like finding love, realizing your life is going to change forever, creating your dream home. These are your great moments. and helping you to achieve them is ours. Chris and Charles, powering great moments since 1992. When you think loans, think Chris and Charles.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's a special edition of Sunrise this morning as we're tracking Mercurial Melissa on a morning like this, keeping you in the know while you're tucked in, while you're at home. I hope that everybody's safe. I hope everybody's doing well.
Indeed.
And of course, I hope that everybody will be watching and listening to the relevant authorities, right? Remember, we're inundated with information at this time. And so we have to be very cautious and careful about from where we're getting our information, because it can be a lot, Dennis.
Indeed.
And
If you see something, check ODPEM.
Yes. Check CVM.
Check CVM.
You know what I mean? Check the ministry.
Check the JCF.
Yeah.
Check Prime Minister or Office of the Prime Minister page, Andrew Holness's personal page, because a lot of the legitimate information is being posted on those spaces. Check JIS.
Yeah.
If you don't see it on the places that are reputable mainstream sources of credible information, consider it that it don't happen. You understand?
Yeah.
It could be old footage, which people do post old footage at this time, and it's just fear mongering.
Yeah.
So manage the information that you consume and leave some of the rubbish out of your diet.
Exactly.
All right?
And also, guys, if you can't manage it, low it. Because guess what? If it is coming, right? And listen, Dennis, everybody know what them can bear, right? Some people, their pressure cannot manage it, their psyche cannot manage it, they just can't manage it. Guys, log off.
Just
turn off the
plug
phone.
out.
Just plug out.
Check in every 3 hours.
Yeah.
Cause you can't make any difference.
Yeah.
Back in the day, when you turn on the news at 6 o'clock and you come back again
7,
and you can only get what you can get in the newscast.
Yeah.
But now every second you get a notification. Even when you're not getting a notification, you're doom scrolling and you're frightening yourself.
I also understand the family members overseas who are calling to check in. I get it, and we appreciate the concern. If you could just send some money to back of the calls.
Yes.
But please, no call me every 5 minutes to ask me, so what go on now? The same thing when I tell you 5 minutes ago, and that go on. Nothing change. And if you regurgitate the old something, it does create the something. Just send a money now. Yeah, something. Send a barrel. I don't know. Too close. Something.
Right.
So I go to Port Royal. You know what? I don't know. Grand Excelsior Hotel go lie down, because at this point, and speaking about Grand Excelsior, one of the most vulnerable spots when it comes to storms is our historic Port Royal. Good morning to everybody over by Gloria's there. And it's an area that sits low and close to the sea. So every shift in weather makes it very difficult, and it does make a difference. So joining us via Zoom is Daviot Price, General Manager at the Grand Excelsior Port Royal Hotel, formerly Morgan's Harbour, right? Morgan's Harbour, right? To share what's happening on the ground in Port Royal and how businesses are preparing. Good morning, Daviot. How are you?
Morning. I'm doing as well as can.
All right. Let's just double check if we're at broadcast quality. Could you speak again?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, but you have to stay still, Daviot, all right?
Right.
Just so that the connection can maintain. Yes.
All right. So what's happening out there in Port Royal at this time? I know that you're the southernmost end of Jamaica. What exactly is happening in your neck of the woods?
Well, at this point we're having moderate to high winds. The sea in the port is it's a little bit rough, but not as bad as you'd expect. However, on the south side of Port Royal, which is exposed to the Caribbean Sea, there is violent waves in that area, as we can see. But for the hotel, the wind, slight drizzle. It's not really raining at this point, which was expected based on the forecast. Heavy overcast, and just moderate to heavy wind gusts for the most part.
There was an encouragement for persons to evacuate, to leave Port Royal, especially if they were in particular kinds of dwellings. As far as you've seen, has that advice been heeded, or are persons still very much hunkered down in Port Royal?
I think a lot of the residents have hunkered down. I know there have been a few that has actually heeded that warning and had left, I think, from yesterday. But for the most part, I think the residents have hunkered down and is waiting it out.
And what's the sentiment being expressed? What have you heard people saying about what they're expecting from this storm? We know that the eye is in the vicinity of St. Elizabeth. Do they feel like they've been spared potentially the worst of what could come, even if it makes a northern turn?
Yes, I mean, I think there is some relief from that. However, based on the width of the storm and what I keep saying to the people when I interact is that, we still have to do our best in terms of ensuring we have everything checked off. Because, I mean, it's a storm. It's unpredictable. When it turns north, based on the size of the storm, we can still get heavy winds. We can still get a lot of flooding from the south side of the ocean. So we try to do our part in keeping them informed and educated with our staff, especially our guests in-house as well.
Oh, so you have guests in-house at present?
Yeah. One of the reasons we ourselves obviously couldn't leave, some of our guests, their flights were canceled. So obviously we have to ensure that they're okay as well.
Okay. About how many guests would you say? Are you able to say?
At this point, I would say 29.
29 guests there. So flights have been canceled. Persons have decided to hunker down and stay the storm with you. Definitely. So getting an idea. Thank you very much. Getting an idea of what's happening out there in Port Royal. We do know, we've heard from him that many of the residents of Port Royal have decided to remain. Yes. They have not left.
Yes.
So they've made that choice to hunker down and stay in Port Royal.
Yeah.
The challenge with Port Royal is if there is an emergency getting into Port Royal or getting people out ofOrt Royal, there's a period at which you just can't do anything more.
Because it's a spit.
Yeah.
So, on both sides.
Of the Palisadoes.
Of the Palisado spit. It's, water and so on. And I hear people, Dennis, people are worried about looting or people breaking in or taking the opportunity to, take advantage of a situation. And so some people are very apprehensive about leaving their homes. And I totally get it. But as I said before, life is the greatest.
Yes.
Life is the greatest. And to those persons who are thinking of using the situation to pilfer, to steal, to just wreak havoc on people, God is watching us.
Yeah.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, men and women, are out in their numbers. And I'm asking, please, do not allow the devil to use you as a conduit to wreak havoc on people. And we have enough with which we're dealing.
If you notice that because people are not going to just take things for themselves, people are going to take things to try to sell.
Yes, and give to their people.
And you know this person did not acquire it legitimately. Don't accept, don't encourage it.
If you accept it, you're participis criminis. You're just as responsible and just as guilty, right? So please, let us just, make the human side of us. It's like, when we look on TV, internationally, we say, Jamaica look goody. Oh my God, look at Jamaica this, oh my God. Let us do so in our actions as well, toward each other, and do the right thing.
All right. Again, thanks to David Price from the Grand Excelsior Port Royal Hotel for giving us that look on the ground at what's happening in there. We're going to keep monitoring conditions across the island. We're going to continue tracking what's happening by way of keeping you up to date. And of course, one of the key entities is the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We'll now have an update from the Deputy Commissioner in charge of Strategic Operations. His name is Warren Clark.
As Hurricane Melissa approaches, this is an update on the Jamaica Constabulary Force's preparedness and response measures that are on the way. All our incident command centers are operational across the island. We are fully integrated with the National Emergency Operations Center at the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management. We are also fully integrated into the Parish Disaster Preparedness Committee's Command Center, ensuring a coordinated and efficient response at the local level. The JCF is fully deployed island-wide to secure communities, critical installations, and scheduled premises, ensuring the safety and security of all, including vital locations. Approximately 12,000 personnel are available for deployment over the period, and another 2,000 likely to be recalled off leave. Our highway patrols are monitoring main thoroughfares across the island, and mobile patrols are active in residential and business districts. Special units are positioned and prepared for rapid deployment. We are also prioritizing the security of key infrastructures like Petrojam, the airports, business districts, hospitals, major road networks, the courts, prisons, and scheduled premises. The JCF, in collaboration with the JDF, will monitor these locations and areas that are vulnerable to severe impact and flooding throughout the storm. The Disaster Risk Management Act has been promulgated, which may include no movement stipulations, evacuations, and attendant regulations. We urge all citizens to comply with the DRMA and its regulations. The JCF will be responsible for the enforcement of these measures to ensure everyone's safety. There is a three-phase scheme of maneuver. We are now at the end of the pre-storm phase. All necessary preparations and mobilizations have been made. During the blow of the hurricane, we appeal to all to hunker down, and we expect that there will be no movement. It is crucial that during the passage of the eye, everyone remains indoors. This is not a time to venture outside. During the recovery phase, the JCF will be out in our numbers, securing citizens, visitors, public property, preventing looting, facilitating support to shelters, and assisting with rescue missions. Sufficient hurricane equipment and supplies are available. Heavy-duty assets are positioned island-wide and ready to support rescue, relief, and other efforts. The technology branch will ensure constant monitoring of communication sites to keep them operational. Generators are fueled and systems are in place to monitor the Police Emergency Command Center systems to ensure they remain operational. Adequate personnel are deployed for rapid response if necessary. If there is disruption to wireless communication, The technology branch will prioritize immediate action to repair any damaged equipment. Police will be deployed to assess damage to government property, vital infrastructure, and roadways. We will support public transportation, especially in possible pre- and post-event evacuation phases. Coordination with OTPEM, other first responders, and community organizations is ongoing. We will continue to provide clear, timely information to the public and other agencies regarding safety measures, available resources, and ongoing recovery efforts. Be assured that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is fully prepared and dedicated to safeguarding the lives and property of all Jamaicans and our guests during this challenging time. We will do everything in our power to support the nation through Hurricane Melissa.
Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty? Use your cards right, and you could be the lucky winner of an all-inclusive cruise vacation for two along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. The more you spend, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Visit sagicor.com for more information.
Made for more. That's why I got a JN Bank small business loan to open my salon and build my dream with my style. Now I am my own boss, popping my own style and trending up.
Start your journey with a JN Bank small business loan with small business loans with as little as $10,000 and up to $4 million. Visit jnbank.com or contact us on WhatsApp 876-295-1298 to get started. JN Bank, we will help you find a way.
The time by Grace Good Move is
8:30.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Service.
Hi there. Thank you so very much for staying with us. Glad to have you back, and thank you so much for tuning in to CVM Sunrise. Now, it's time for Law and Order JA, made possible by the Ministry of National Security and Peace. And here's a question many people don't think about until after a hurricane hits. And this question is, if your apartment floods or your belongings are damaged, who's responsible, you or your landlord? Joining us to clear things up this morning is attorney at law Ron Young, who is breaking down renters' rights, landlords' obligations, and how to protect both your home and your pocket when disaster strikes. Good morning, Ron. How are you?
Good morning. How is everybody? I hope good.
Everybody's doing great, and we're at work bringing the information to our viewers. Thank you so very much. How is your family doing?
They're doing well so far. I'm here working in the midst of the hurricane, doing final preparations. So no pickleball today.
Beautiful. Lawyers' work never done, right? I got to tell you, there's always a need for lawyers. As I saw this topic this morning, this question, landlord and tenant came to my mind. So talk to us, Ron, about the renters' rights and landlords' obligations, especially at a time like this when damage is imminent.
Yeah, so in when there's a storm or a hurricane that comes, the question is, first of all, that comes up is who is liable for any damage or destruction that arises from such a storm or hurricane? The answer to that depends on, I would say, 3 factors. The first is, what do the terms of the lease agreement say? So the law provides a pretty wide latitude for landlords and tenants to agree to certain terms in their agreement. However, in the usual residential lease or tenancy agreement, there's something called a damage and destruction clause. What does that clause say? Essentially, it says, and it puts the onus more on the landlord, it says that if there's damage or destruction due to a storm, then the landlord has the obligation generally to repair and maintain the premises. Although there are exceptions, because, for example, if, say, there's a storm and the tenant is negligent in that it leaves all the windows and doors open and goes about its business, and the place floods because the doors and windows are left open, then the onus or the liability may fall on the tenant in such a circumstance. Let me just go on to say that one of the second things is sometimes these leases do not have a clause that speaks to storm damage at all, and it's silent on it. So what do we look at next? The next thing we look at is legislation. So there's something called the Rent Restriction Act that covers most premises that are residential premises. They call them controlled premises. And that also puts the onus more on a landlord to fix any damage, again, once there's no negligence on the part of the tenant.
Right.
So those 2 things are important to note.
Well, normally, Ron, in Jamaica, in many cases, there isn't a lease agreement. I'm just renting a place, so you pay me a deposit on my rent, and that is it. When it is silent, you're saying there, and therefore, that the Rent Restriction Act will be the piece of legislation that we will look to see how the damage will be corrected or paid for.
Absolutely. So the Rent Restriction Act does cover not every single residential premise. There are exceptions. But most of the time, most dwelling houses, most buildings that do rentals, they will naturally fall under the Rent Restriction Act. And that onus a lot on the landlord for maintenance and repairs. There are cases where a property does not fall under the Rent Restriction Act, and maybe there's no written lease agreement. In such a case, you look to the common law, what we call the common law and case law. Again, it tends to fall. There is a greater obligation on a tenant for repairs in a situation like that, but there tends to be an exception for storms and hurricanes, which still puts it a little bit more on the landlord's side. So we can give the general position that a landlord has more of an obligation for repairs than a tenant does in cases like this.
Talk to me a little bit about the damage to buildings as opposed to damage to the tenant's property or belongings. So tenant says, well, your roof leak, and the roof did damage and it mashed up my TV and it mashed up my bed and it mashed up my stuff. Who is responsible in that regard and for what?
Very good question. Generally, the landlord is responsible for structural damage, roofs, walls, and clearing gutters. So it's an obligation on the landlord to ensure that before a storm comes, they go and they clean the gutters. They ensure that roofs are intact, so that if there are any complaints by the tenant about leaks and so on, that he fixes those, because that's where his liability mainly falls. In general, tenants have an obligation to protect their own personal belongings, their clothing, their furniture, their TV, etc. And so it is important in many cases, and I know it's not common in Jamaica, where tenants may want to look at renter's insurance or something like that to protect their
I was coming to
belonging.
I was actually coming to the renter's insurance because we've been hearing about that. And in terms of normally the property tends to be insured. Does that insurance cover, but the landlord is normally usually the one who insures it. Does that also cover the tenant's belongings, or can the tenant benefit from that, or do they need a renter's insurance?
In the absence of some agreement in the lease to the contrary, generally no. The landlord's insurance covers property, property damage, again, roof, walls, and so on, but not the actual physical, personal belongings of the tenant. And so the tenant has an obligation to not only mitigate their own loss, but to protect their things.
Yes.
So in the event of a hurricane, to make sure that they have their tarpaulin that's covering their items, or move their items into a safe location and so on, because it is not automatic that any insurance that the landlord takes out will protect the tenant's belongings.
What about, Ron, say for example, the tenant, because of the damage to the apartment or damage to the house, they will have to move out, right? But they didn't plan for that. That was not in their contemplation. Who will be held responsible, or who is generally responsible for the cost associated with relocation?
Also a very good question. So under the normal lease agreement with this damage and destruction clause, what that clause normally says is that, one, the landlord is responsible for repairs to the premises, and the landlord will also have an obligation to abate or lower the rent that the tenant would charge, especially if the premises becomes uninhabitable. Then the landlord has an obligation to abate the rent or lower the rent until the repairs are done. So if a tenant has to move out, they won't have to, in most cases, pay the rent for the place that they had to leave because it was destroyed. That doesn't mean that the landlord now has an obligation to pay the new rental in the new place that the person has to stay at. But what it means is that the tenant is not double paying rent. Because they won't be paying on the premises that is destroyed, so they'll be able to put that rent temporarily towards other accommodations until it's resolved.
Okay, so you can't say, sorry, your house popped down, so you have to pay my new rent now. It doesn't work like that.
It may be a stretch. The law may not take it that far on behalf of the tenant, especially if the landlord does its part in abating the rent on the destroyed premises.
Finally, Ron, what if, say, for example, the landlord warned the tenant about the leaking roof, about some faulty walls, don't think you should stay here, the structure is not sound, but the tenant says, it's all right, man, I'll stay, everything Chris, and then damage happens.
Yes.
Who is responsible?
That may, under the law, it may fall under the tenant's responsibility. No, that's a very tricky and a very good question, because what happens is, remember that the landlord does have an obligation to ensure that the premises is in a tenantable condition, so that, roofs are fixed and so on. But if for some reason the landlord gets wind that, hey, maybe this may not be a safe premises, and he gives adequate notice to the tenant and says, hey, move on out, I'll abate your rent. Don't worry, you won't have to pay rent, but I need to fix this thing and I don't want anything to happen to you or your belongings. And the tenant chooses to stay, that tenant may find themselves having to deal with any resulting damage on their own.
Very well. Thank you so very much, Counsel. Very, very important and very, very well articulated, because I know that there are some people right now having these questions because, Melissa is upon us. And so these are some questions that sometimes will arise just based on the situation with which we're faced. So thank you.
I hope no one has to face these types of things and everybody stays safe.
Very well. And the same to you and your family. Thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. That was attorney at law, Ron Young, helping us navigate those stormy legal waters. And of course, Law and Order JA is brought to you by the Ministry of National Security and Peace. More right here on Sunrise, tracking Melissa, giving you updates right after the break. Still Sunrise on CVM.
Should critical illness strike? Don't let worry fill your head. Say hello to happiness and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan. Secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness ahead of time, while benefiting from more investment portfolio and so much more. Give yourself and your family the peace of mind you deserve with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan today. And live secure, live easy.
How do you think dreams come true for grown-ups?
I think there's a dream princess. She gets to decide what dreams grown-ups get. Maybe land, a new house, or like a home makeover. Or a new car. You know, those things grown-ups like.
Even a light-up toothbrush?
Seems like grown-ups get exactly what they dreamed of.
Forget Santa. I'm going to send my list to her next year.
CIBC Caribbean has sweetened the season with incredible cashback deals. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
BCIC is giving up to $5 million in free content insurance. We've developed a free online calculator. So anybody in Jamaica, any homeowner can go on to BCIC online. You don't even have to be a BCIC customer, and it will give you a building value. When you update your home's rebuilding cost with our online calculator, you'll get $5 million in free content insurance and up to 12 months to pay your premium.
If you're not insured, go get it now. Better to be safe than sorry.
Should critical illness strike, don't let worry fill your head. Say hello to happiness and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan. Secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness ahead of time while benefiting from more investment portfolio and so much more. Give yourself and your family the peace of mind you deserve with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan today. And live secure, live easy.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi. Brought to you by Grace, Singer, and IslandNet Services.
Where it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these four boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot! It's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And Casey has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we are getting the winds of a hurricane, we're just getting wind of an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.8 on the Richter scale. The affected countries are Dominica, Guadeloupe, and Martinique, particularly. The earthquake was 255 kilometers from Antigua and Barbuda. This occurred at 7:38 this morning. We're now joined by His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew, Andrew Swaby.
Good morning,
for
Mayor.
a check-in. Good morning, Mayor. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm weathering the storm.
Right.
Well, Mayor, first of all, you were seen weathering the storm, helping persons to weather the storm. I never knew you could lift up people off a bus.
Yes.
As a real general in the streets, you've been putting in some hard work.
Thank you.
Well, talk to us about that, yesterday, Mayor, and in terms of, we saw you also mobilizing the homeless, getting them to the shelters, getting them to the shut-ins, informing them that there is food there and stuff like that. Just go there. And you literally were in the streets yesterday. And I just wanted to commend you on that in terms of getting in the streets, getting some skin in the game. How is Kingston looking, and Kingston and St. Andrew looking right now from your vantage point?
Well, I would say this, that we have never had an experience of a Category 5 storm, or hurricane, I should say. So we are going in uncharted waters. I'm not going to tell that I'm not a little bit nervous for what is to come, but we have to be strong and we have to prepare ourselves and prepare our people for it. And so I've always encouraged the persons on the low-lying areas to go find somewhere much safer. It doesn't have to be in our shelter. Find a family or a friend. Our shelters are out there. So far we have activated 26 shelters so far, with 262 persons have been in those shelters. So persons are heeding the call. I was impressed in Raytown yesterday that we went in with the police and we told them that at 1 o'clock the buses will come, and so far 55 persons are in that shelter. So the message is reaching out, and we have to just continue. When I leave this interview, I am going first into my own communities that I have in Vineyard Town, for example, at McGregor Gully, and then I'll be going into the broader Kingston and St. Andrew.
Very well. Talk to me, Mayor, a little bit about shelters, because there are some persons who have an aversion to going to the shelters. Them say, no, I don't know, they don't have this, they don't have that. When one goes to a shelter, what is provided, if anything? And generally speaking, what is the experience of a shelter?
Well, I want to put it in context, and we have to just say it bluntly, is that it is an inconvenient situation, because it is a disaster. So even if you're in your own home, probably you might have a little leak over the bed, and you might have to shift the bed and all those things. You might have to take off things that's outside that would normally stay outside and put it in your house, because you don't want these flying things. So it's not the Pegasus. It is not the Courtney Hotel. It's a situation, because you have to understand that it's your life that is important to us.
Yes.
Having said that, now, we always encourage persons to take in some non-perishable food items for the first 2 or 3 days, because it is hard to get prepared food for people because everybody has their own life to protect. So we said that take in your medication, take in a blanket. So we have put cots inside of these shelters, but we never have enough cots. So if you have a mattress, for example, you can take it there and lie down on the thing. So it's not a situation where you'll be comfortable, but it's a situation probably where you will preserve your life.
Yeah, where
I want
you'll
to
be
make
safe.
that point very forceful to people.
And I'm glad you've made it that way. I'm glad you've said it so bluntly, because people need to hear it. It's almost as if there's a sense of entitlement that the KSAMC or other municipalities are supposed to be providing you with first-class service. It is a shelter. You are being given shelter that might save your life.
Yeah, shelter for safety.
Yeah, but bring your things, bring your supplies, bring your food and your toilet paper and your soap and these sorts of things, and don't expect Mayor Swaby to be providing you with cooked meals and that kind of a thing. It's unreasonable, and I think it's unfair to the authorities who are doing so much for so many people. So I think it's very important the way that you've said it.
That's why I made sure to ask. Also, Mayor, in terms of going to the shelter, is there a cutoff point that persons will be accepted? Say, for example, I live in an area, it was never flooded before. I don't know what happened. The magnitude of this hurricane has caused it the first time I'm flooding out. I need to get to the shelter now. Is there a cutoff point, or is it an open door policy at the shelters?
It is an open door policy at the shelter. One thing I can tell Jamaicans that we can risk the first responders' life after a certain time. So persons, if for example, someone called this morning to say that they have someone at a particular location they want the help to get, and we have sent for that person. The issue, we can't send for a person. I'm not saying that we can send for everyone, even during this period. What I'm just simply saying to that, don't expect the first responders during the hurricane to be on the road.
Indeed. And so in terms of the other functions of the KSAMC, I've seen, gullies being cleaned, drains being cleaned, that kind of a thing. Conversations were being had about Sandy Gully, for instance, a major arterial route for water to move. What has that process been like, that aspect of the work that you did in the prep phase before?
Well, our prep phase starts at the beginning of the hurricane season in June, and we had cleaned some gullies, mainly the coastal ones. In every division, a drain or two was clean. You will never have enough resources to clean the thing. And I want to make the point again, is that these gullies are not just blocked up for blocking up sake. It's because of how we dispose of our garbage also. So we have to understand that sometimes when we do these things and we look at these things lightly, we are putting our lives at risk. I know that at the central government level, there was some level of proprietary work, like clearing off some gully because there's a road that you don't want to make sure that road is passable. So the government has done that, but you will never having less than a week notice or so, you'll never get to get the done job that you really want to get done.
Yes. In terms of, Mayor, where persons can get information about the shelter closest to them, is that information available on your webpage, on your website? How can persons keep abreast of what's going on? Because we do realize also that there are many people who have so-called information from all about, but we want to get it from credible sources. So where can persons find out where, for example, where's the nearest shelter, police number, fire brigade number? Do you have that at your disposal to the citizens?
We have posted our shelters right now. We have 107 shelters in Kingston St. Andrew posted on our website. We also have our emergency operation center here at 65 Hanover Street, and I'll just give you the numbers for that 967-3329, 967-9317, and all those are 876 before, and we have a WhatsApp line of 456-1183.
Great. Well, I know the mayor has been up since probably last week, sir. So we're sending you some strength and prayers as well, because we know that at this time, oh my God, heavy is the head that wears the crown. So I know.
I said to person that I signed up for this job, so I just have to get the job done.
Amen. And to you and your team, we wish you all the best. Where are you going to go today? Are you on the road again today?
Well, I am here at our Emergency Operations Center. It's manned by Terry Forrester and a team.
Hi, Terry.
And also right across from me is the Poor Leaf Department, which is the acting inspector of poor Miss Brady. So they basically dictate where I go.
Okay.
I know I've asked them for an hour so my own division, but they are my manager for the day.
So at no point did I go with me.
Let me don't answer that one. So let me answer that one.
Mayor, don't answer any question without your lawyer here.
Look here. Mayor don't want. Now I don't want Mayor to say the mayor can't save everybody. You know. You can't. There are people who don't want to be saved.
Yeah.
Even Jesus can't save everybody. You know.
Well, he has done a great job, and so far so good.
Do what you can.
Yeah, and I must say, commend you on a good job.
Indeed.
And we just hope that, in terms of after the passage of Hurricane Melissa, all hands will be on deck, to get the markets clean, get people clean. But Mayor, I am asking you though, we need to, as a municipality and as a country, we need to embark on a Keep Jamaica Clean campaign, an aggressive one, because as you mentioned, when you look in a lot of these gullies, it's not for just blocking up, it is the disposal of the garbage. And so I don't know if we need to set up cameras at every gully, cameras at places. Maybe we need to start rewarding people for pointing out litter bugs. Me no know, but something has to be done about it, because so many of the resources, Dennis and Mayor, that have been pumped into cleaning these gullies and drains could be used to do other things. And so as a citizenry, we have to become more responsible, and consequences must be levied for those who are litter bugs.
I couldn't have said it as good as you. You are so correct.
So something need to go on, Mayor. Camera, something. I don't know.
But then
I think we have to look at some other things, because in our market, I mean, it's preliminary. I don't like to speak to these issues, but we have to look at the whole issue of how we move waste to energy.
Yes.
And those are some of the things that we really have to do. So is that I've said it to my colleague councillors, that we have to move our discussion from just not only fixing enough road, cleaning up gully, but look at innovative ways, excited ways that young people can get involved.
Absolutely. Well, I'm young and Dennis is young as well, and so are you, Mayor. So we're here for the long haul.
Okay.
But thank you, sir. Please be safe to you and your team. Thank you so very much. And of course, God bless.
Okay, God bless you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor Andrew Swaby, His Worship, the Mayor of Kingston and St. Andrew. After the break, we're going to head to the skies for a check-in from the airport sector with MBJ Airports Limited.
The surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins, and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's a live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi. In this space, we connect with some of your favorite people as they share their journeys. Here we have some unfiltered conversations as we deep dive into their inspirations, motivations, and experiences to inspire our own life journey.
Odyssey with Yendi, brought to you by Grace, Singer, and Islandnet Services.
Finals on CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Greatness begins here.
No stam not supposed to have no young girl name. When you get this stam young girl name, when you get young girl attitude and young girl problems. Same like how you see young girl take long to get themselves together. How exactly that nugget right us right now from Melissa. See girl supposed to pass around and go about in business and they they can make up in mind. 1 second him come, the other second he not so sure. Out they are growing in a circle and a wine and wiggle and cock up in this. I do hair and makeup and nails and eyelash and body and all kind of same thing. Stam not supposed to have young girl name. When you catch a him and no one name for stam, when you name the stam things like Merkel, Margaret, Mirelle, Mildred, Mary, Mabel, Mercy. You have one stam when you Miss Mercy that the stam now cause no problems. But I've had the stam name who couldn't find a start with him. When you get the stam name Melissa. Melissa fresh out her 20s in her early 30s and have man problem. Nobody now have to ask if Melissa has bad news. But on a serious note though, as this thing passes over Jamaica, please do what is necessary to prevent the loss of life. Please remember that things can be acquired again. You can get back material things, but you cannot get back alive. And please, for the love of God, please look out for the idiot them we live in our communities. Members of them are idiot. Them not have no sense. Members of the humble thing you can expect from a hug is a grunt. For a lot of these people, we are asking them to do things that they can't mentally process or assimilate. So you have to be kind enough to share the little sense where you have with them. Otherwise, from that, I got no doubt in my mind that we are going to be A-OK. Because Jamaica is still the best little dot on the map and God's most favoriteest little spot. Look after yourself and each other.
Aye, aye, aye.
Aye, aye, aye. Andrew
Aye, aye,
Dennis,
aye.
a.k.a. Miss Pearly
Aye, aye,
grandson
aye.
there with that word of wisdom.
Yes.
Glad to have you with us.
Or can you name Maud?
Maud.
Maud.
Esmeralda.
Yeah, Meredith.
Yeah.
Them name there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, we're hoping to answer all your questions about this current one, a young girl named Hurricane Melissa and its arrival. And one that came across was what's happening with the airport. Well, this morning, we're getting those answers straight from the top. Joining us via Zoom is CEO of MBJ Airports Limited, Shane Monroe. He'll tell us how the airport is preparing for Melissa from infrastructure protection and flight safety and coordination with disaster authorities. Shane, how are you?
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We're good. We're good. Thank you very much. How are things in Montego Bay?
Well, it's windy. No rain at this time, but we are preparing for Hurricane Melissa.
When you say windy, heavy winds, Shane, or just regular wind?
It's not heavy winds, it's light winds at this
But
time.
a little bit more than normal, yeah?
Yeah, the calm before the storm.
All right, so we know that in the east at Norman Manley International Airport, they're closed, but what's the state of affairs with Sangster?
So Sangster International Airport is closed as well. We have been since yesterday at 12. Of course, the priority is to keep our staff and our passengers safe. And of course, to protect the infrastructure that is there, safeguarding equipment and ensuring our teams are ready to respond and are fully mobilized once we are ready to recover. So we are really focused on taking every step to ensure that the airport remains safe and secure.
So is it that the airport is, that there's no staff at the airport, or is it a staff that is focused on asset protection and that kind of a thing?
We have a ride-out crew, so we have our emergency control center fully operational since last week. We have a team that's staying there since this weekend and will stay to the end of the storm, not just in the operation center, but also our emergency response team and our maintenance staff as well. Will ride out the storm, so special hello to them and thanks to them as well. But this is part of our preparedness to have teams stationed once the storm has passed to recover. And of course, persons on standby as well to come in once the storm has passed and is safe to do so.
In terms of recovery, Shane, persons are wondering, when will the airport reopen? Obviously, we have to wait and see what damage Melissa will come with at this time. But in terms of getting back on your feet, how agile is the airport, is Sangster, in terms of getting back up so that flights can get out and in?
Right. So we have put up significant measures in place to ensure that we can recover as quickly as possible. Of course, our backup systems, generators, infrastructure being protected, securing the airfield. We expect that this storm, the latest information is that on Wednesday, we may get some relief and be able to carry out the different phases of recovery. I should say that really safety is the number one priority. So the first phase is really just a safety assessment to assess the full damage, the impact on the facility, inspection of runways, taxiways, the terminal building. And then we get into the other phases to remove any debris, check for structural integrity, ensuring all the systems are functional. We have power, lighting, communication, navigational aids, etc. And then really a phase reopening. Depending on the situation, of course, it's very hard to predict what is now a Category 5 hurricane, what that impact will be. But the goal is to resume essential and emergency operations first.
So say, for instance, you have a flight out of Sangster International, say on Friday. Not, just say, for argument's sake, a flight on Friday. Would you expect then that persons who may have had flights cancelled and so they're hunkered down in hotels or wherever, that as the airport opens, you're going to have a lot of congestion because people are going to want to get the first flights out as airlines begin to return to Sangster. So persons should expect there to be long lines and crowds and to exercise some patience then.
Absolutely. And in fact, what we encourage travelers to do is to stay in contact with their airline. They are going to be your most reliable source of information on when you'll be able to travel. And we, in fact, encourage passengers not to travel to the airport until they have confirmation that they will be on a flight out on that particular day. And, the hotels, we have been working closely with the tourist industry to pass that information on. And that's the safe place to be until you have confirmation that, we have reopened and more importantly, that you have a flight out on that day.
I think that is a critical information. I imagine that the CVM news team will be pulling that clip for the midday news because that is an important thing for persons to know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shane. To you and your team, all the best. Stay safe. And we'll definitely look forward to when I hear Sangster International is reopened and ready for business.
Thank you for having me and stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. To, of course, the CEO of MBJ Airports Limited, Shane Monroe, for keeping us informed. As always, check with your airline for the latest travel updates and don't move unless it's absolutely
and
necessary.
until you hear. Unless they instruct you so to do. Because someone will go to the airport, so what, when a plane, no plane a day here?
So, for instance, we have a team that is representing Jamaica.
SWAT.
At SWAT, and we're supposed to be leaving out on Friday.
Yeah.
And we're just wait and see.
Exactly. But Dennis, that's what I tell you, is God in charge.
We wait and
all
see.
All the things we think are we around the building is not we in charge.
Exactly.
And these storms, sometimes, storms don't come to disrupt. It comes to clear the way, but it also comes to remind us that we are mere humans, mere mortals. And at the end of the day, there is somebody bigger, higher than us, and we have to just squat and sit down, wait, be still.
All right, be still and know that I am God.
And cook some food and just dress good, dress up in a good clothes. Hi, Coco Bella. Hi,
I was about to ask you.
Coco Bella. Say Jeremy say, is my mother superior pleats? Look at my pleats, guys. Aren't they hot? Coco Bella's.
What did my try to say? You look like a nun?
I don't know what my try to say, I don't know what he's trying to say, but I know I look hot in Melissa. You know what I mean? Stormy. That's what.
Stormy Daniels. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
That star. With nails out here with that star. Makeup party lucky. Would not stress me. See, look, me pop in a rain.
Never. Couldn't be you.
As good as. It's crazy. As an hurricane.
We'll be right back.
Is a must. Yeah.
it all begins. The quest to become great. Inspired by those who went before them, these 4 boys dream of playing in the ISSA schoolboy football competitions.
Will you score this for Casey? Will you score? It's a shot, it's a goal!
And it's a shot, and it's a goal! And KC has won the Manning Cup, and they will play Clarendon College in the Olivia Shield. And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
When the bus the man, I want to watch my son play finals on CVM, you know.
But mums, you can't watch it on CVM website, man.
Boy, my son score, my son score, my son score, my son score.
Greatness begins here.
It's time!
Welcome to High School Pitchside. We have another fascinating episode for you.
More matches, more big clashes.
Let's talk about some of the big rivalries coming up this week.
More of your favorite features.
And trust me, you won't fall asleep in this history class.
And of course, we always want to hear from you.
Hear from your alma mater's players and coaches in Team Talk.
You know we can't leave you out. So send us your messages on social media and watch us react on FanView.
And you know we love a good little debate, right, Gio? We've got you covered all season long on High School Pitchside.
High School Pitchside, your ultimate guide to all things schoolboy football, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Why Gilbert want to come in me room? Me sweep out song with me broom. The little dog love to see such fun and the dish run away with. Come now, who no see me dish? Who no see me dish? Anybody who no see me satin like the dish? Who no see me dish?
Oh, wow, a song from 37 years ago. Lloyd Lavender. That one forever etched in our memories, etched in our songbooks, you know what I mean? And every time you hear it, you just have to sing that song. Good morning to all the 88 babies, right? September 12, 1988, when Gilbert struck Jamaica. For those who were around for Hurricane Charlie, right? And the Ivans and the Sandys and the Gustavs and the Beryls, right? And some children are this is their first major storm. So they have never experienced a hurricane before. So this is their introduction to it.
This is AA's second, but she have consciousness now.
Yeah.
So our first major. She has language.
Yeah.
She has language now, so she just getting it. Jackson Jackson was very excited by Beryl.
Yeah.
And then we played a lot of games. And so.
Like what kind of games?
We played a lot of, those flashlight games, and make the animal.
Yes.
We did a lot of those things. We played a lot of I Spy with My Little Lie.
Aww.
Old school, yeah, man.
Yeah.
We played a lot of those things. I'm thinking of a number.
Yes.
I'm thinking of a letter.
Yes.
I'm thinking of an animal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mind games you have to use your mind alone. Back in the day, when you end up a road trip.
Yes.
I'm thinking of a song.
Daddy mode.
Yeah.
Full daddy mode. Well, yesterday I took AA out to do just a walk and also to jump in the muddy puddle.
Yeah.
So she put on her boots and she's like,
Pepper and George.
Yeah, and she's like, it's raining.
Yeah.
I'm like, what rain? And she could tell me it's raining.
Yes.
I said, thunder, mommy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's a hurricane. But guys, if the hurricane is scary for us, Dennis, right, as adults, can you just imagine how petrified the children must be feeling right now with everything that's going on all the time? Because also, you know, from the thunder to the power cuts, but also just talk in the house, the energy.
Yes, because they're hearing it. Don't think it'll fly over their head. They're hearing it.
Our energy too, you know, you know what I mean? Because if we're scared, they're getting scared. Well, guess what, guys? Hello, even the change in routine. They normally get up, they go for their walk, or they go to school. Just that whole thing can be very discombobulating for them, right?
Couldn't find Jackson yesterday.
Where was he?
He was in his secret base. He was in his secret base.
A secret base. Hi, Jackson, in your secret base.
I'm probably going to go home and he's going to be in his secret base.
Secret base. That's flossy. Big ups to all the teachers as well. We love you guys for all that you do, all right?
Thanks for sending the work via WhatsApp.
Well, joining us this morning via Zoom is clinical psychologist associate Vanda Lee Richardson with practical tips on how parents and caregivers can help our children feel safe, calm, and supported through this weather. Vanda, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Vanda.
Good morning. I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Very well, very well. Now, parents are going through it, Vanda. Let me tell you, from the changing our routine, you know, to have to buy the food, button up the house, and all of that. And then we have to now deal with the little ones to help to calm them, reassure them, and also make them have some fun. Talk to us about some tips that parents can use to, you know, safeguard and calm our children.
Okay. So first off, we can't really talk about like our kids and how to regulate them with first talking about parents. So as you said, parents are also going through it. So the first thing I would say is it's good to just normalize what we're feeling, right? The anxiety or the fears, like this is just a fight or flight response that we're experiencing. And a lot of it is protective. So sometimes reframing how you're feeling is a good thing, right? So there's a lot of oxygen pumping through our bodies. Our heart rate is increasing a little bit, but this is protective. It's going to keep us active. It's going to keep us alert and vigilant. So just kind of normalize that feeling scared is actually a very normal thing. And for parents, you staying calm is the most important thing. You know, we can play games and have lots of tips, but as much as a parent can stay calm and regulated, that's going to transfer to their children. Because especially kids like under the age of 4, they really absorb what their parents feel or what other people are feeling. And they don't yet know how to differentiate that that's mommy's feeling, that's daddy's feeling. They just think now that there's this big feeling that they're feeling and they don't know whose own it is. So sometimes it's good if you see your kids starting to look a little antsy, just check in with yourself and be like, do I need to take some deep breaths? Is there something I can do? And we do have some grounding exercises. So I was listening to, you were saying with your son Jackson, you play I Spy. So sometimes it's good to do like grounding exercises as a parent. So just look at your surroundings, see if there are 5 things that you can see around you, listen out, are there 4 things you can hear, are there 3 things you can taste? And that's just trying as a parent to just ground you into the present moment so that you can manage what your kids are feeling. Because you're right, they're feeling a lot of big feelings.
I think one of the things that sometimes we don't realize is that children are not just smaller adults. Their minds think differently. They're wired differently. They're at a different stage of development. How can we better appreciate what children are thinking or how they're processing various stimulus? Some of them might be overstimulated. Some of them might be just in a particular zone. Help us to understand how they're thinking about something like a storm.
Yeah, you know, so kids, they're very sensory oriented. And I also just want to touch a little bit on if somebody has special needs children, because during this event, their kids are also going to have a different experience where it's going to be amplified for them. But they are very sensory. So sometimes we have to speak to them in a sensory way. So we want to be able to discuss with them the change in sounds that's going to happen. The wind is going to whistle and then it's going to roar and then it's going to rumble and rock around because Melissa's going to be bumping into houses and trees. So I think it's a balance of understanding that they are still very attuned to all of their senses in a way that we are not. They can hear frequencies that we might have been able to tune out as adults. So we really want to almost treat them as if when they're a baby, you know, they're still very sensory oriented. And especially when they become dysregulated, they regress to a bit more those instincts and those drives. So I really like with talking to kids to try to be playful because kids are playful. So if you want to explain how they're feeling, give them the space to express how they're feeling, but you're also going to have to be like, okay, you feel anxious. Are you feeling squirmy? Are you feeling jumpy? And kind of let them animate what they're feeling so that you can understand what they're feeling, because they can't speak in the language the same way that we can.
Dennis mentioned earlier, Vandalie, that, homework comes, in the WhatsApp group. But some children, based on what's going on right now, they're not necessarily in that frame of mind. How can parents balance getting the work done, but also respecting the fact that they're just not right there at this moment? Is it detrimental to them? Or is it that we have to work through these big feelings, teaching them responsibility, but yet also understanding that now might not be the time to do the schoolwork right now?
Yeah, and I think it's case by case, because you can sometimes meet kids who they love school so much, they're going to be excited to do the schoolwork. They want that distraction. And if that works for that kid, that works for them. But this is not detrimental, not doing homework right now. Because what we do have to understand is this fight and flight response that we're having, which is protective. If you were happy and jovial right now, that would be weird and it wouldn't be very adaptive, right? So, but what comes with that is that we're hypervigilant. So we need to understand that kids are not going to be able to focus and concentrate the same way, especially if you have a child that on a good day struggles with attention, with reading and classwork. This is not the time to force that, because kids are experiencing a lot of big emotions. I think it's more important that we attune to what our kids need, so doing activities together, playing games together, especially when electricity goes, the best thing to do is to play games where you're using your brain and your mind. That's a way that your brain is still getting exercise, it's engaging with another person, but I would prioritize regulating your child's emotions first and foremost, because even if they're getting the work done, they're not retaining or consolidating the information if they're in a state of hypervigilance and they're not in that calm state for learning.
Is there any book, Vanda, that you can recommend to us? Maybe we can take a glance at it, in terms of just to calm our child or children, keeping them safe, and also to regulate our own, because it's a lot, Vanda. Life is lifing, I gotta tell you.
Okay, so I really like Shankar. He has a book called Self-Reg. He has books for teachers and for parents as well. He has a lot of videos and stuff as well online. I also would encourage just belly breathing for both adults and for children. Children really love this.
What's that, Vanda, belly breathing, and how is it done? Can you show us, please?
Yes, I can show you guys. So essentially, you're just going to tell kids that and adults, you inhale through your nose. So you can tell young kids, imagine that you're smelling a flower. And when you inhale, you want your belly to get really, really, really big and expanded. So especially if it's your kids, you can really exaggerate how big your belly looks, because you want the air to really fill to the base of the lungs. And then as you exhale, they can push the air out through their mouth like they're blowing bubbles. For adults, it's better if you just do it through your nostril. So you inhale through the nostril, let your belly expand and fill, and then you exhale, you let it contract and push the air out through your nose. So it's a really good breathing exercise just to ground you down, and kids like to do it.
And for how long do you do it? And how many repetitions?
So I just like to keep a smooth breath, right? Everybody has a different breath. So I try to keep it between 4. Inhale for 4 and then push out. Now for adults, so I wouldn't do this with kids, but for adults, it's actually good if you hold the breath. So if you inhale for 4, you hold your breath for 4, and then you try to exhale for a count of 5 or 6. This does activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So this should kind of switch your brain into calming down and realizing that the threat is not immediate and that you can manage whatever situation is in front of you.
Very well. Thank you.
Very much.
Yeah.
All right, Vanda, thank you. Do stay safe, you and your family as well. And thank you so much for sharing your nuggets here with us on Sunrise this morning.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was Vandalie Richardson, clinical psychologist associate, reminding us, to calm ourselves as parents so we can help to create a calm environment for our children. And let me also say a resplendent morning to all the husbands, all the boyfriends, all the men who are keeping us women calm. Because I know that
I'm glad you say it. I'm glad you say it.
Dennis, it's not our fault. What you want to do? Dennis, we're on panic station. That is why you have the vasopressin hormone to keep us safe and calm, Dennis. What you want us to do, Dennis? The roof them a fly and some are going where you want to do, Dennis.
Appreciate it.
But we appreciate you guys. That's why we're saying it.
Okay.
Mr. Wilkinson, good morning to you, sir. Mwah. Love you to the moon and back. I know I have a panic station. Because Dennis, when you have a very vivid imagination, things run away with us. It's just a part of our estrogen makeup, you understand? It's not like we're doing it for spite.
Remember in the early morning, baby.
Dennis,
was that the earthquake or was that stuff? What was that?
I don't even remember. I'm just saying.
Remember the early hours when you nearly ran out there?
That we appreciate your testosterone and masculinity, right? And and even if we seem off kilter, just bear with us, please. When the storm gone, we're gonna normalize back. It's just a side effect. It's a storm.
Yeah, what was that again? What was that the time when she run out in the early morning?
You can remember things here and then something with uno. These are the things.
Was it
don't let me don't let me call Melissa and give her your address. Okay?
Was it earthquake?
But just to say,
was it hurricane?
Gentlemen, we appreciate you for all the battening up, drawing up those shutters, getting everything, fine. We appreciate all that. And everyone, it's a lot. But as women, we mean well. You understand? That's why we're cooking and buying the things. But we love you guys and thank you. Without you guys, I don't know. Would not make it, okay? Right. Love you, sweetie.
Let's have to hold it like a G.
Yeah. But thank you.
We're going to take a break and then we'll wrap up and tell you goodbye.
So all the supermen, thank you. Mwah.
Me can't get the cook, so me full of bully beef, full of bully beef, full of bully beef. Me can't get the cook, so me full of bully beef. Come, water come in me room. We sweep out song with me broom. The little dog laugh to see such fun, and the dish run away with his food. Water wet up me shoes and now wet up me hat, wet up me dog and wet up me cat, wet up the bed, wet up me parrot. Water wet up me what's it not? You mean you what not? No me what's it not? Water wet up me what's it not? Me I look so me safe, dry and warm. The youth them a looting the raging storm. We thank the Lord, we never get hurt. Them said thank.
Illness strike? Don't let worry fill your head. Say hello to happiness and goodbye to worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan. Secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness ahead of time while benefiting from more investment portfolio and so much more. Give yourself and your family the peace of mind you deserve with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider Plan today. And live secure, live easy.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
Hear the face and you see the voice, you don't know, say the man them, or where the man them I represent for your thing called Melissa birthday bash this Friday, October 24th to October 28th. You don't know.
Remember says a BYOB, you know. What that mean, man, them?
Bring your own bread.
Come on, have a bread.
People, make sure you have all the important documents in our Ziploc bag. True.
You don't know, say music by DJ Silence, cause JPS I got locked off the light.
So make sure you have a battery them and a candle them and non-perishables. You don't know a thing.
Remember say rain a fall, breeze a blow.
And guess what? The man them inside, so we now
go out the door.
One thing about Jamaicans, we're going to be creative in these situations. And I want to say big ups to those young men, as well as big ups to the JPS crew. Because the JPS gentleman, him no say, It have to shine on.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling
This
you,
one is
I gotta tell you. Okay, remember, so good morning to all the men and women of the JPS, because they too, Dennis, are essential workers.
Yeah,
they leave their
they're
families
out there
to come to rescue us and make sure that we're fine. So we want to just send a lot of love to them, and also people from the NWC, NWA, NSWMA, so many persons.
Last year when you hear people, it's been a whole day we don't get backlight.
Make yourself 3 months to take in a Gilbert time. Forget. I don't want to think about it.
A cold Heineken was like
magic
gold.
Yeah.
In a them thing. A cold anything. Cold any, because you can have freezer for freeze ice. Like one piece of ice in a 1980. I wasn't living in Jamaica at the time. Yeah. But when you read the stories and when you watch the old videos, like just something cold, it was like a cold drink was a delicacy.
Wow. Well, guys, listen, right? JPS, we're watching. You know what I'm saying? But let's all also give an eye out for the elderly, for the disabled, for our children, and just for our neighbors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think in this time, one of the things that will help us through this is just the camaraderie. You know what I mean? And the togetherness.
Yes.
The togetherness. That human
as Jason
spirit.
Henzo was saying, just lending a hand. Yeah. Just know, say, guess what? Better you lend a hand, because you don't know. It might it might be somebody else's roof now. It might be your roof in the evening.
And I think that's what's creating some of the angst too, because never had a hurricane like this hit Jamaica before. Every hurricane is different, so it's like, oh my God, murder.
The track is not going to be the same, so it's just what we have to
Just have to pray though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Catherine and I, they teach us prayer and work conquers all.
Yeah.
If you've put in the work and you're putting in the prayers, just trust that we are made more than conquerors and we will conquer.
Amen.
So just leave it to God. You've done the work. Faith without works is dead, but put in the work, put in the prayer, and just God will do the rest.
Amen. We hope that you will continue to keep safe, right? Keep your devices charged, keep checking in on your family members, and keep it locked right here to CVM TV, as we're going to be having all day
coverage. And don't eat out the snacks wagga wagga.
Yeah.
You're eating because you're bored. You're not hungry.
Go lie down. Drink some water. Go lie down.
Go up bed.
Drink some water. Read a book. Read a book and come out of the fridge. And don't go in front of the fridge and stand up and leave open and say, you know, someone feel for something. You don't feel for anything. Lie down.
Take up a book. Take up your Bible. As my mother would have said. Take up your Bible. Go and sit down and read.
All right, then. So you please be safe, sir, on the road.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I know you're going to be out there, so be safe. And everybody just be safe. Remember to invite, send your messages or send what's happening in your neck of the woods. Share your videos with us here on CVM so that we can broadcast it as well and to show what is happening across the length and breadth of Jamaica. We love you guys. Please keep safe. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Take care.
Sing with me, how great is our God. Who will see? And all will see how great. Put your hands together.